A Reuters article is asking us to pay attention to the way Black players are being talked about during the World Cup. Research cited in the article found that 70% of praise for Black players focused on physical attributes compared to just 18% for white players. Meanwhile, white players were far more likely to be praised for learned skills, character, and cognitive abilities. So why does this matter? Because the words we use to describe people can reveal the qualities we already assume they have. And as someone who has studied colorism, this makes me think about something I wrote about in my own research, the color halo effect, as discussed by Margaret Hunter. Research shows that when lighter skin and more European features are valued as more attractive, people may unconsciously associate those individuals with other positive qualities like intelligence, honesty, and kindness. My research discussed how those biases can begin in childhood. Darker-skinned children can be more likely to be perceived as misbehaving and face much harsher discipline. But those assumptions don't simply disappear when we become adults. When we hear that Black athletes are overwhelmingly praised for their bodies and their physicality, while white athletes are more often praised for their intelligence, character, and learned skills, I really think it's worth asking, what assumptions are we making before a player even steps onto the field? Who do we instinctively see as intelligent? And who do we see as disciplined? Who gets viewed as a natural leader? And how might race and even skin tone shape those perceptions? And the referee calls being made for or against them if we're talking about professional sports. The World Cup gives us a chance to watch some of the best athletes in the world. And it also gives us a chance to examine how we're watching them. Because colorism and racial bias don't always show up in the most obvious ways. Sometimes they show up in the qualities we assume someone has or doesn't have based on what we see. As the world watches the World Cup, it's worth paying attention to how we talk about the players on the field. The language we use can reveal more about our own biases than we really realize.